Hello, welcome back to Real Retirees Uncut. His name, age, and location. My name is Steve. I'm 59, and I live in a little place called Chester, Virginia. It's in central Virginia, right between Richmond and Petersburg, just about halfway between both of them. When I retired, and what career did I have? I retired in February 1st of 2023 at 57. I didn't work much in January, just a couple of days, so I consider I retired at the first of the year, but technically it was the 1st of February. And as far as career goes, I didn't really have a typical career. I just worked a bunch of different jobs and cobbled it together to get to retirement. Mainly I worked factory work. I worked at the last 33 years, I believe it is, I worked at a string factory, a yarn plant for Allied Chemical. It was, they're now known as Ashland. Worked in the polymer plant. We made yarn, like carpet yarn, or the yarn that goes in tires or something like that. And then the last 18 years I worked at a place called, it used to be called, it was originally called Hercules Powder Company. About 100 years or so ago, they made dynamite. But when I went to work there, they made a powder. Kind of ranged somewhere between the size of a grain of sugar and maybe flour or grits, maybe about the size of grit. And it was it was an industrial chemical additive to just about everything you can think of, from medicine to health and beauty aids to paint, all kinds of stuff. And at the end there, I was the last few years I worked there, I was in the quality control department, where we tested it for different qualities, viscosity and pH level and junk like that. What drove my decision to retire? Honestly, Doc, it was it really boils down to I was just tired, man. I was fed up, and I guess you could say I was burnt out. I had a good job. I enjoyed my job. I enjoyed most of the people I worked with, but everything that surrounded it just got to be a hassle for me to go in. It was the one thing in my life that that was messing it up from being great, I figured. And since I no longer needed to be there for to live, no longer needed a job to live on, I quit. What's a typical day like? I usually get up in the morning about an hour or so before my wife. And the first thing I do when I get down the hall is I check out the local news, see what might have happened overnight or something I might need to be aware of for the day. And I check out the day's weather. My retirement revolves mostly around the weather and mealtime, to be honest with you. That's where I make my decision what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. And then I always check stock market futures, just to see if it's going to be a good day or bad day. Then usually I'll either do my little body weight exercises there in the house, push-ups or stretching or balance exercises, or I'll make the coffee. So when Connie, my wife, gets up, it'll be ready for her. And then we'll sit and have a couple cups of coffee, and it's what I call my morning production meeting, where we discuss what we intend to do for the rest of the day. It can last anywhere from 30 minutes to a couple hours, just depends on what I feel like or what we get to talking about. And then we got then after that, if I ain't done my morning exercises, I do them, and then I go down to the park and take a walk. Then I start my day, and it can be anything, man. I could be running errands. I could go down to one of these historical parks and take a look around. I could go down to the river and go fishing. I can cut grass. I can run around with Connie if she's got stuff she needs to get done. It varies day to day, but usually it's just, I just call it hanging out. And that goes into and then I usually shut down sometime around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon and get ready for dinner. I go in there and I'm useless, totally useless inside the house, but I try to help out where I can and make her day a little bit easier. So, and then after dinner we'll probably I'll sit down and maybe catch a ball game or cowboy movie or something, and then get up the next day and do it all over again. And that goes into the next question was, what do I enjoy most? For me, I enjoy the variety. I enjoy just having the ability to do anything is what I enjoy. Whether I do it or not doesn't make any difference to me. It's that I have the ability. We can take off and take a trip. I can go to the river. I can cut grass. I can just sit back and watch the birds eat. It doesn't make no difference. It's that I have that ability. That's what I enjoy about it. You can only get it in retirement. How did I approach saving, or what was my plan once I decided to retire, once I'd picked a date? I don't know, man. I didn't my plan was to prepare myself for that first year, that transition year. I try to make my investments a little bit safer. I wanted to try to guarantee them first few years that I didn't have to worry about what the market done. And I concentrated on trying to get out with everything in place. My pension, let it start on time. My health insurance, make sure it was going to pick up on time. There's a lot of deadlines and regulations you have to finish before you can actually get out. Retirement is not just saying, hey man, I quit and leave. It's a lot of stuff to prepare for that first day. And so I mainly did that. I got a little bit more conservative with my investments just to secure them first few years. Retirement income sources. Right now, since I'm 59, I'm gonna these first couple years I've been pulling from my 401, taking a distribution from my 401, and I got a little pension from the chemical plant. I clear about $800 a month from that. And next year I'll still be pulling from my 401. I'll get that little pension from the chemical plant, and I'm planning on starting my little pension from the string factory. It's I think I'm gonna clear about $400 from that. And then once I hit Social Security, it'd just be those two little pensions, and the Social Security is what's gonna carry us from right on. How did I go from saving to spending mentality? I thought this was gonna be a big deal for me, and the first couple months after I retired, it was. But once I got into retirement, I realized that wasn't my problem. My problem is just who we are, our personality. I got to be careful not to cheat myself. Go ahead and spend for what's going to make our life a little bit easier and more enjoyable. You would think after decades of saving, flipping over that spending, what you'd save, it's a hard thing to get used to. But once I realized that's the way it's supposed to work, and that I was already set up for that, and I understood that I could go ahead and spend the way we normally did and still be able to eat and pay our bills, I mean, that slipped away pretty quick. Biggest challenge or surprise? No, wait a minute. Social Security. What age do I plan on taking it, and why? When I originally retired, I figured I'd take it at 65. Just because that's the way it's always been for centuries. Well, for about 100 years now. But once my full retirement age is 67 for Social Security. After that first year of retirement, I figured I'd take it at 67. But right now I'm thinking about taking it at 68, just because my birthday's in January and the wife's birthday's in September. So if I take it early, then I have to wait 8 months for her to take it at full retirement age. I figure, why not just start off the next year? I'll be 68 and she'll be 67, and start off the next year like that. So that's my plan. But I'm subject to take it at any time. If I need it at 62, I'm going to take it at 62. But if I don't, I won't. It'll be a year-by-year decision after that. All right, the biggest challenge or surprise. That challenge is a hard one. I don't really know, to be honest with you. I think the biggest thing the biggest challenge is for me to understand that, hey, retirement's different for everybody. It's not a cookie cutter size, one size fits all thing. You have to do it the way it works best for you. And that's a hard thing to understand nowadays, the way they push out their retirement. Everybody laying on the beach with Mai Tais and kicking back on a Caribbean cruise. And it just ain't so for everybody. That's not the life everybody wants to have. Constant travel or starting their own business or whatever. I just wanted to kick back. It doesn't bother me, but I do think sometimes that I'm shortchanging myself. Biggest surprise, how quick your time gets filled. Hands down, I retired without any hobbies, or I didn't retire to anything. I retired for the ability to do anything. And that time gets full, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. Major lifestyle changes. No, we didn't move. We ain't take no big trips. We ain't done nothing. Our life hasn't changed a bit since I retired. The only thing is I'm no longer tied to a job, and that's the way I wanted it. I didn't want to have to change anything to be able to retire. I thought we had a good life before I retired. I just wanted to carry it into retirement, and fortunately I was able to. Let's see, what is retirement success? I just described it. I wanted us to be able to live just as well in retirement without a job as we ever did when I was working. And for me, that's success. I don't care, it's not so much what I do or where we go or any of that. It's just, being able to do whatever, whenever, and still have the bills paid and the food in our bellies. Would I do anything different to prepare? No. It's not that I did everything right. We screwed up a lot, but I don't know that it would have made any difference. There's a lot of stuff I should have done different, but we tried to do the best we could at the time with the situation at hand for us. We didn't always do it, but we tried. I could have saved more, could have worked longer till I at least qualified to full retirement at 60 and got a higher pension. I could have stayed in there till I was 65 and got Medicare. I don't have to pay for out of pocket for Medicare insurance now. Or Social Security, could have got Social Security, could have waited till Social Security. Things would have been, I don't know, they would have been easier on us or not, but it could have set us up better for later in retirement. I don't know. One thing I'm glad I never have to do again: get drafted. I pure T hated that. Scheduled overtime is a lot different than standing in the clock line getting ready to punch out, and a man come up to you and say, hey man, John called in, you're gonna have to stay, you're gonna have to work another 8 hours. Unplanned. Here you are thinking about going home and getting dinner, maybe catching the ball game, and you're gonna be there until midnight. That sucks, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, I hated it. Now the older I got, the more seniority I got, the less it happened to me. You'd think it'd be good, but it ticked me off even more the older I got, and I hated it. Advice 1 to 5 years from retirement. That's the last question. Man, I think it's important to stack cash, man. Having a little cash on the side is a lifesaver when you retire. It helps you cover the daggone hiccups that life throws at you constantly. You know, it gives you some money to invest if the market drops. You can take advantage of a down market. It just makes me sleep better at night, you know. Make sure you understand the regulations for getting Medicare, getting your distribution starting Social Security. There's a lot to that stuff, and if you screw it up, it can cost you. I mean, there's just so much. Plan for, you know, what you want to do in retirement, to make it, every step you take before retirement makes that transition easier, which in turn makes your long-term retirement even better, I think. You know, get help. Have somebody check your taxes, your daggone investments, your income coming in, your health insurance. Go to somebody that knows, an accountant, health insurance people, financial advisor. Get somebody to look it over. That goes a long ways to make you feel comfortable with your decision. But y'all take care, man, and we'll talk with y'all later.